Bonnie, what was it that attracted you to the idea of making Wombling free?
Well, to make Wombling free, I went down to Pinewood Studios and I met the director. And as soon as I sort of heard that it was about the Wombles and he told me the story, it really made me feel lovely. You know, I really wanted to make a Womble film because there hasn't been a film of the Wombles, and I think they're so lovely. I can't understand why, but it was such a nice story, and it really is a basic storyline. It's not just scenes and little snippets of the Wombles' adventures. It's a definite story all about them, which makes it more interesting for children, which I think what it's all about. So.
Would you go to a close-up, please? And tell me, how do you get involved with them in the film?
Well, in the film, the Wombles...
Sorry, can you start again and just say in the film?
In the film, the Wombles, they always want to make contact with human beings, which they haven't been able to do for 300 years because Uncle Bulgaria's tried it and he's 300 years old and he's never been able to do it. But Bungo, he's determined to be the first Womble to ever speak to a human being. And he goes out and he tries to talk to a dog and to a horse and to a postman, and they just never see him. But then I come along and I'm eating a Mars bar and I throw away the wrapper on the floor and he says, "Oi, pick it up," and I hear him. And it's all about him making contact, and Uncle Bulgaria can't believe it, and then he comes to tea, Bungo does, and then he keeps forgetting to tell us to stop making a mess and keep written tidy. So he has to keep coming back and finding us and talking to us until finally we say, "Why don't you bring Uncle Bulgaria for his birthday party?" So all the Wombles come for a birthday party. So it's lovely.
A lot of grown-up actors don't like to work with young people like yourself because you tend to pinch the scenes from them. I wonder, how did you feel about working with a character like Bungo, who does tend to pinch the scenes that he appears in?
Well, working with a Womble, especially Bungo, it was lovely because it was just like a little animal that you could sort of pet all the time. You really believe in them when you're with them, and you tend to sort of treat them like a little baby because they are so little and so sweet that you can't object to them at all because they're just so lovely. They really are.
What is your idea of what you want to be when your career has finally blossomed? I mean, you've got a big West End show to your credit, Gone with the Wind. You've got a big popular television series starting again shortly, and now you've got a film. How do you see Bonnie Langford growing up?
Well, I would love to do musicals when I'm older, because musical films too, because I love doing films. They're so nice to do, and there are always lots of people involved, and it's just a fantasy land, really. It's what you really dream of. And I'd love to do a musical because I can actually sing and dance. And it would be so nice to be able to do absolutely everything. I don't know, it would be so lovely to have the orchestra and everything. I'd just love to do that.
And what happens with your new television series? When does that start?
Well, it's not actually a series that I've just done. I've just done a special called Lena and Bonnie with Lena Zavaroni. And it's a 1 hour special, and I get to sing and dance, which is lovely. It's a completely musical show, a 1 hour of music. And it comes out Easter Sunday. But it's so nice because of that, which it was such fun to do, it really was.
Tell me finally, Bonnie, what is your idea of stardom?
My idea of stardom is lovely Rolls Royces and the fact that you're making people happy. And that's why I love being in show business so much, is that it makes people happy and gives them entertainment, which is really what it's all about, which I love doing.
I love talking to you.
Thank you.
Market.
20, take one.
Retake a first question for interview with Miss Bonnie Langford. Bonnie, what attracted you to the idea of doing Wombling Free?
Well, what attracted me to Wombling Free was the fact that it was all about wombles, and wombles had never made a film before. And they're such lovely little creatures that children can really adore. And in the film, it shows children that not everybody believes in them, because the whole idea is to keep Britain tidy, and you see what you want to see. If you see good in the world, then you'll see the wombles. And it's about making contact with wombles. And in the film, I'm the first person to ever speak and see and talk to a womble, which is lovely, you know, because it makes the children really think, oh, there are wombles in the world. And then I introduce Bungo, is the womble, to my mother, who thinks that I'm just making up an imaginary character, like children do. But she sees him too, which she can't believe. And then we try and get the father to understand, which is David Tomlinson. And he won't understand, although he does. There are little snippets in the film where he does see the womble, but he doesn't think of it. And Uncle Bulgaria borrows his morning edition of the Times, but he doesn't realise it. And then we have a party for Great Uncle Bulgaria, his birthday party, because he's 300 years old. And all the wombles come to tea. And the Mr. Frogmorton, which is the father, he comes home and sees this party going on, and he eventually admits to seeing the wombles. So he tries to put up a stand on Wimbledon Common and speak to all the people of Wimbledon that they can't see them because they don't want to see them. But it ends up with lots of children coming on and seeing the wombles. So it makes the children think that there are wombles, so when they go walking in the streets, they want to try and see a womble.
Thank you.
20, take two.
Continuation of the saga with Miss Bonnie Langford. Tell us again, darling, what was it about Wombling Free that attracted you to the idea of making the film?
Well, Wombling Free was such a lovely idea. The fact that having wombles in a film had never been done before, and the fact that it wasn't just a series of scenes about the wombles' adventures. It was in fact a complete story, one big long story, about making contact with wombles, for children to really believe in wombles more than they had done before. And that wombles weren't just little puppets on a screen with great big people above them. They were actually like children, so the children could really believe in them. It was basically about making contact with the wombles. And I was the first person to make contact with a womble. That was Bungo, who was the youngest, which children seem to adore most. And the fact that the wombles can be seen by adults too. and it's that adults say you see what you want to see when they actually see the Wombles. So it all makes it a fantasy land for children, that not everyone can see them, so it makes it feel as though they're special if they can see a Womble, which is lovely.
Tell me a bit about the story.
It's basically about me making contact with a Womble, and what happens is that I introduce Bungo to my mother, and she sees him because she thinks that I'm just making it up and it's just an imaginary creature. And she does see Bungo, which she loves. And then we all try and tell my father, who is David Tomlinson in the story. And he won't believe in these Wombles, and he thinks that we're all going mad. And he does in fact talk to a Womble, but he doesn't realise it. And he lends his morning copy of the Times to Great Uncle Bulgaria, but he doesn't even notice that it is Uncle Bulgaria.